everyone. Becca here, Willow Hill Designs. Welcome to my channel, and thank you to the new subscribers who've joined me on this journey. Thank you. I appreciate that. And today I'll be sharing in Roxy's Journal of Stitchery, Volume 2, which is July to December, the Winter Village page. So that's the second one in August. And let's see. This is my drawing. This was where I wanted to go with this page. And here is my completed page. In my last video, I showed the houses that were partially attached down on the page and the church, and not much else from there, just the drawing. And so I began to work on this by doing the embroidery around the windows of the church and the door, and I added some window panes to the windows of the church, and the same thing for the little houses as well. I added some window panes to those and just did some stitching, mostly outline stitching around the doors and around the windows for the window casings, and an outline stitch or a stem stitch for the snow. And I did that in a light blue DMC floss. These were the colors that I had used. I used a light blue DMC. I used this pale color. This is 3722. I used this on the houses to, I didn't want them to be too red or too bright to show the delineation in the houses, the different sides of the houses. I didn't want a bright red there, so I used that color. I used this color of DMC for the little bush here and around the doors and windows. And I used a bright red for the little berries in the lawn. And let's see, did I use that anywhere else? No, I think that's all I used there. Also to sew this fabric on at the top. But I went ahead and did all of the detail work with the embroidery. And then I was going to embroider these trees. I thought I would just embroider them, or I was going to use fabric, and I decided against both of those ideas. I had mentioned those in my last video. I'll put a link to that in the description. And I decided to use some Alençon lace that I had for these trees, and it was a very pretty soft ivory color. I had done a little tea dye bath on this, and so I thought that might be pretty, and I used actually most of the leaves. I cut out these little leaves, and where some were grouped together, I used them together, and then others I used singly just to fill in. So that's what made up my trees. I decided I wanted all of this to be very soft, kind of pale colors, soft like a snowy night, nothing too bright jumping out, but I wanted the red and ivory color palette. So I did the trees with the Alençon lace, which I love. That was actually on my wedding gown. And I added some little friends in this little scene. I added a little rabbit here who seems to be looking at the church, and a little doe who is eating some berries or some small apples on the ground, and a little chickadee here. I don't know if you can see that. And I added some Christmas trees, some other color Christmas trees to sort of tie in the blue of the snow. I wanted it to look sort of like a Currier and Ives scene. And the fabric that I used for that is this fabric. Let me see if I can see who this is by. Woodlands Frost by Lisa Audit. Woodland Frost. I think it's really beautiful. And this is the little deer that I chose here, the little doe. And she has her head buried in the snow here, eating some berries. And here's the little rabbit that I chose that looks like he's looking at something. And these little trees are the ones that I chose also. There's a beautiful owl on there. There are some lighter trees as well, but that's what I chose. And I decided to lighten up the trees that I chose. They were a little bit dark, so I used my Derwent pencils on them too. I added a little bit of white and a little bit of light blue just to lighten those up a little bit so they kind of tie in with the windows and also the snow, the embroidery for the snow. And so after I did the trees, I decided that I would put some sequins on there, and I don't have them here actually, but they're little 4mm sequins. They are clear, iridescent, and I don't know if you can see the sparkle. Oh, there. They definitely sparkle and glisten. So I added the sequins to the trees here and in front of the houses along where the snow might be piled up, and the church as well. And I really love that effect. I just think it looks so pretty. So I was happy with that. And I did decide to go ahead and put the stairs for the church, make those fabric. So those are just little fabric stairs that I stitched on. And then for the roofs, I decided to use some lace that I had and just cut out a large piece for the roofs for the most part and just did a little bit here. I didn't want to lose all of this detail. I had spent the time cutting those little snow drifts out, so I didn't bring the lace down too far. I wanted the snow drifts to still show, but I put some lace on each house in hopes of looking like snow. And then I used a different sort of lace up here on the little top of the church. And also down here, there's sort of a little cupola on this house as well. And so I liked that effect. I thought that gave it a nice snowy effect on these little, and I added a little tiny bit also to this chimney here. And I also used my Derwent pencils on this doe. She was a little bit pale. Let me see if she is here, right here. She was a little bit pale, the one that I cut out. So I just added a little bit to make her a little more red. The deer that I see have a little bit more red on them, although towards fall they do get that more darker brown. And lastly, to finish the page off, because this is cut from a napkin, and I kept 3 edges of these napkins. They would open out like this. So I kept 3 edges of the napkins. The top edge is raw. And so to finish the top edge on this one, I decided to cut a strip of this fabric. And this is by French General. I love their fabrics. And so I just used a strip a little over half, maybe 5/8 of an inch along the top here, and let that fray. I just ripped that. Oops. I ripped that and let that fray. And then I took some lace. Let's see if I have that lace here. Yeah. I've had this lace for quite a while. And so I just used some of this lace over the top of the red to still give that kind of a snowy effect. So I think that's pretty much it. I embroidered a little bush here There was no more room to add any more bushes or anything. And this is kind of a large page, but there was no more room to add any other little bushes or anything. So other than my little bunny, chickadee, and little deer. So that is my page for the end of August, my winter village, and I love it. I really love it. So this signature is done. This has 4 pages in it, so this will be July and August, and then September will start the next signature. So this was my cover and title page, which also used the deer prompt, and this was the wreath page, and then there's the Christmas tree page, and with my little angel in the pocket, and my cluster. I also have the little, I think, tag that we were supposed to make. That's my little tag, which will go somewhere, maybe on the spine of the book. So that's my little tree page. And this page completes this signature. This one is done now. So we just got our new prompt yesterday, which is a snowman, and the feature is a pocket. So I do have a pocket on this page, so I will try to think of something different for a pocket on the next page. I guess we can use that pocket on the snowman page or maybe the next page as well. So I'm not sure. I haven't really had a lot of time to come up with any ideas. But I just thought I would share my completed page. It's just, I'm actually looking out my window at my huge sunflower and the rose of Sharon and the green grass from all this rain. And yet here I've been stitching on this snowy, wintry scene, and it's kind of fun. I'm enjoying both worlds right now because all the seasons are so beautiful, but it's nice. I'm kind of in this little winter village at night when I'm stitching on this, but during the day I'm enjoying all of my beautiful flowers and in the garden that are outside. And so I guess that is it for this page. And I'll just do another little close-up to try to show those sequins are beautiful. They are from a range of color on Etsy, and the little 4mm just seem to be perfect for this page, so I love them. I recommend them highly. And I never sew with sequins as a quilter. I don't put sequins on anything other than Halloween costumes, so I love these. They were fun, but they're work to sew. I mean, they're little teeny tiny things, and they easily sort of jump around, but oh, the effect is really pretty. I love it. I'm happy with them. So thank you for watching today. I appreciate it, and I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.